What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over this weekend's fights that took place in Kazakhstan, Las Vegas, and Australia. We're going to go over my predictions and let you guys know how we made out. Before I continue, I want to thank everybody who's new to the channel. I also want to thank you guys who's been with me since day one. Could you guys do me a couple favors right now? Could you like this video? Also, my YouTube analytics tell me that 80% of you who watch my content haven't hit subscribe yet, so please do that right now. Also, hit the little bell notification button. You can find that at the bottom of your screen. What that'll do is notify you every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. All right, guys, last week we documented a handful of fights, starting in Kazakhstan, finishing here in Australia. I featured 7 of those fights, gave you my prediction on 6 of them. So in this video, we're gonna go over how I did. If you guys follow the channel or follow the community section, you know that I went 6-0. We picked all 6 fights accurately, even picked 2 method of victory knockout victories from Janibek and Tszyu. The first fight I want to talk about was a fight that I didn't predict, but I analyzed. The odds for the Chop Gonzalez and Deadly Cowwell fight weren't released, so I didn't want to give you a prediction, but I did break that fight down. In the end, Chop Gonzalez beat Cowwell by decision, but there was some controversy. If you guys didn't watch that fight, it was a very competitive fight, especially from the mid to later rounds. Chop beat Cowwell by decision, but one of the judges gave Chop 80-72, which was absolutely atrocious. It was way closer than that. I had Chop winning, but only by a small margin. And if you watch that fight, you could see the skill set of Cowwell was actually at a higher level. His only losses are to a handful of guys. One of them was Bruce Tszyu Carrington, and Tszyu couldn't get Dana out of there. So going into this fight, I was telling you guys in the comment section that Dana is a tough out, and I don't think he's gonna get knocked out by Chop. This is what I had to say before the fight. To set up his offense. He has good movement laterally, he moves left to right, and we know he has a chin on him. We know he's gritty. He has a high fight IQ, and Bruce Carrington couldn't get him out of there. Had him hurt a couple times, but Dana used his boxing skill set to recover, make it the distance. Now, if you ask him, he's not going to be happy with that performance. He feels he didn't fight his best fight. He feels that there's adjustments to be made in this next fight. Now, I'm not going to predict this for you guys. Las Vegas currently doesn't have the odds up, but right now I did put my own poll on our YouTube community section, so if you want to go there after this, you could vote on who you think is going to win. Now, we do know that Chop won the fight by decision. This is what I had to say after the fight. What's up, fight fans? Chop Gonzalez defeats Deadly Cowwell. There was controversy on the scorecards. Some of the judges had it 80-72. No way. Cowwell came to win. I had him winning a lot of the middle to late rounds. He came on late. I still had Chop winning, but by a close margin. Definitely not 80-72. If you watch this fight in the comment section below, how did you score it?
And he's fought stiff competition, and he's felt different types of resistance. And again, that prepared him for this moment against Chop. But I like Chop and what he had to deal with. He had to deal with that link. Not everybody's going to be the same. Not everybody's going to stand right directly in front of you. He had a guy in there that could switch up his tactics. You know, Chop even was learning on the job, and he had to figure out and switch up his tactics as well. But man, what a damn good fight. I think it's a close fight, to be honest with you. I didn't score it. However, I thought that Cowwell came to win, man, and he's very well in this fight, man. You know, he stayed. All right,
now let's go to Kazakhstan. This was the first live boxing title defense ever in the modern era of boxing between Janibek, the champion at 160 pounds, the WBO champ and the IBF champ. He was taking on an undefeated Congolese French fighter named Ngamissengue. Before the fight started, this is what I had to say about the fight. I'm expecting the African to stand there and want to challenge Janibek's ego. If you watch Janibek's highlight tape, he's going to be there to get hit. I expect a knockout. I'm picking Hanalei to win by knockout. I'm not going to pick around. Now, pick him on your money line. Put him on a parlay. I think that's a safe bet as well. If I do get the odds on what a knockout pays, I'll put in the... Now, we know that Janibek won the fight. He won via 5th round knockout to keep his belts, WBO and IBF, and give Ngamissengue his first loss. The 160-pound division isn't really a division that has a lot of huge names, but there are some big fights for Hanalei to make. If we get those fights, we want to see unification bouts. He has 2 of the belts. We want to see Lara, or we want to see Adames. A lot of you guys want to see that Adames fight, including myself.
I knew I was going after him. Taking every shot he can. Oh! That's the punch that separated from the senses.
Now let's move to Las Vegas. There were 3 fights on this card that we predicted, starting with the Abdullah Mason fight taking on Carlos Ornelas. Before the fight, this is what I had to say. I wouldn't even put this on a parlay because the juice isn't worth the squeeze. $1 on 100. I was always told leave fights like that alone, but I'm going to predict right now. I predict Abdullah Mason to knock out Ornelas, late replacement. I think Ornelas is tailor-made. That style is going to come forward. Mason's going to want to prove to everybody that his trajectory is still skyrocketing. And we know that Mason was business as usual. Like I said in my breakdown, he got Ornelas out of there via 6-round knockout to improve his record to 18-0. He celebrated his 21st birthday on fight night, and what better way to celebrate by having another knockout victory. 135 pounds is a division with a lot of big names, but he is a massive 135 pounder and only 21 years old. You got to think that he's going to keep growing and growing, but he has said he wants to become a champion at first at 35 before he moves on. So like always, we'll just sit back and keep documenting his career every time he gets signed to fight. On his birthday, Abdullah Mason turns 21 today and improves his record to 18-0 with 16 knockouts with this devastating KO of his opponent, Carlos Ornelas.
You can avoid a lot of shots.
From Abdullah Mason. He timed it perfectly, and a delayed reaction. Like a quarterback, right? You got to work your way through the progressions to land the better shot. Oh, that's a nice left hand, Mason.
The next fight we broke down was a fight between Mexico and the Dominican Republic. I was really excited about this fight. Undefeated Lindolfo Delgado took on the one-loss Dominican fighter Elvis Rodriguez, and before the fight took place, this is what I had to say. I think his arsenal is going to be a bit too much, and I think having that, once again, I always talk about Olympic pedigree. When things go wrong in the fight, in terms of making on-the-moment adjustments, I got to give it to the guy with the Olympic experience. You can't talk about enough about the discipline, the strategy, and the fight IQ of a fighter who makes it all the way to represent their country, becomes a pro, especially a knockout artist who's undefeated with a 73% career knockout to ratio. So I'm putting all in on the Mexican. I think that he's going to beat the Dominican fighter and continue on his push to fight for a world title. Now, this fight had controversy as well. We know that it ended with Lindolfo Delgado remaining undefeated and winning a majority decision. I watched the fight again. It was a very close fight. There were a lot of rounds that could have gone either way. I do truly felt it was not a robbery. I thought Delgado was classier. He did the better work, and I don't think that Elvis did anything that could have swayed the judges to give him the fight. Delgado improves his record to 23-0, and it's going to be interesting what his handlers do with him. The 140-pound division is another division with a lot of big names, and a glossy 23-0 record is a guy that a lot of people, probably after his performance against Elvis, because it wasn't that significant, are probably going to put their hand up to see if they could fight him. Guys, Lindolfo Delgado edges Elvis Rodriguez to remain undefeated. How'd you score it?
Oh, gracias a toda la raza que me apoya. Saludos a la raza de Linares. Les damos saludos y vamos a seguir echándole ganas.
Moving forward, we had the main event in Las Vegas between the heavyweights. Kiki Torrez took on the Italian Guido Vianello. Before that fight took place, this was my prediction. Perspective, have you been knocked out before? Have you lost before? That matters, guys, and I can't speak on that enough regarding going into a high-stakes fight like this. The risks you're going to take. Are you going to hesitate? Are you going to fight like you've always fought? And all that being said, I'm going to take that method of victory bet. I think Torrez Jr., I think Kiki is going to find a home for his backhand. And I was right. Kiki did find a home for his backhand. I thought he was going to put him out, but Guido showed his strength and resilience, showed that he had a chin, took a lot of big shots, gave a little bit, but took way more, ultimately ending in a decision victory for Kiki Torrez, remaining undefeated and improving his record to 13-0. The heavyweight division is one of these divisions that's constantly changing, and one big win, one big knockout could put you on track to a big fight. We know Richard Torrez Jr. has that amateur pedigree. We know he's undefeated as a pro. He's still super very young, so it's going to be exciting to see what comes next for Kiki Torrez.
Oh, there's a left hook for Kiki Torrez. Ooh. Vianello almost out on his feet.
Hey, he dipped his head. He was coming with a jab, slipped his head to the outside. Beautiful, right on the button. That's right on the chin. Ooh.
Now let's go to Australia real quick. 2 fights that we documented. The first one was a rematch at heavyweight between 2 lesser-known guys, but I told you guys it was going to be exciting. Liam Talivaa lost the first match via knockout to Brandon Grach after Talivaa knocked Grach down. And within the span of 20 seconds, Talivaa found himself on the canvas staring, unconsciously knocked out cold. This was the rematch. Before that fight took place, this is what I had to say. And this is a fun fight to document, and this is going to be a fun fight to watch. I'm putting my money on a parlay for God's son, Liam Talivaa, to get his redemption, to go in there, to go in Newcastle. He's going to be hearing all the boos. I think the Southpaw is going to be ready for redemption, and I think maybe we might be able to set up to see an Australian trilogy. Guys only have 10 total fights, and this is the beautiful part of the sport of boxing, because every now and then you get moments like this, guys on the come up who get to create their own legacy. And where is my prediction hat? We're on fire, guys. 3 weeks in a row. We're 19-1 over the last 3 weeks. I predicted this fight as well. I just thought that Talivaa was winning the first fight. He just got clipped. I thought the Southpaw had more skills going into this rematch, and I wouldn't be shocked if we actually see a trilogy at heavyweight. It's a fun division, and the Aussies love the big guys slugging it out. On to the main event, we had Tszyu, the return of Tszyu, hasn't won a fight in a while since he lost back-to-back losses against Seb Fundora and Bakar Murtazaev, taking on the American, the one-loss Joey Spencer. Before that fight took place, here's what I had to say. Tszyu, to get back on track, I think he's going to make the adjustments. I think he's still going to have faith in his power. He's still going to have faith in his chin. I think he's going to showcase what he's been working on, and I fully expect him to be at the top of his game. At 30 years old, he's in his physical prime, and I think this is a perfect stylistic matchup for Tszyu to put his name back on the map at 154 pounds. He was back. 4th round knockout, looked sharper than ever. It's exactly what I said in my breakdown. Knowing the Tszyu family, knowing the pedigree, I wasn't standing on the side saying that he was done. At 30 years old, I told you guys he was in his physical prime. And with the last name Tszyu, I kind of had an inkling that he was going to come back better than ever. We saw him sharper than ever. We saw him make some adjustments, and he's back on track with a knockout. The sky's the limit for Tszyu again. All the big names just come out of nowhere. Is it going to be Keith Thurman next? Is it going to be a rematch with Seb Fundora? There's other guys into the mix. Charlo all of a sudden is an interesting narrative. So we'll just have to sit back and see. Guys, I want to ask you, how did you do on your picks? Are you listening to me? Tell your friends about the channel. We're growing, and that's all attest to you guys helping me out, liking these videos, commenting on the videos, sharing the content, and subscribing. We're pushing the channel up in the algorithm, and with each week, we're growing and growing. Guys, stay tuned to the channel because we got another big fight card coming up, headlined by Jaron Boots Ennis and Amaitis Stanionis. I'm going to be breaking down that whole fight card, giving you the analysis and the predictions. So stay tuned to
Spencer comes back, but it's all Tszyu pouring in the pressure. The tail comes.